and welcome to another edition of The Voice Crying in the Wilderness, number 42. Today's subject will be Know Your Enemy. I want to start by making a correction on the video of angels and our women concerning the giant offsprings of the angels. You can find them from Leviticus to Judges, especially in Deuteronomy 2:20, the land of the giants. The Amorites called them Zamzummim and Anakim. Og, the king of Bashan, Deuteronomy 3:11, whose bed was 13 foot 6 inches long, noting a cubit equals 1 foot 6 inches and a span is 9 inches. So you can go through those guys and do the math. So knowing your enemy, if you know yourself and know your enemy, you need not fear 100 battles. If you know yourself and don't know your enemy, every victory will suffer a defeat. If you don't know yourself and you don't know your enemy, you will lose every battle. Know that you are loved and called and chosen. Know you are rich in every way and generous on every occasion. Know that you are anointed and appointed and equipped and enabled by the power of God that works mightily within you. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and no enemy scheme against you shall succeed. Know that you live and breathe and serve under the shelter of the Most High God. Have a healthy respect for your enemy. Jude 9. Even the archangel Michael, when contending with the devil, he disputed about the body of Moses, durst not bring against him a railing or reviling accusation, but said, "The Lord rebuke thee." As Michael refused to be provoked by Satan, who charged that Moses was a murderer, and therefore undeserving of a proper burial. Ephesians 6:13 through 17. Always be prepared by wearing or putting on the whole armor of God. Resist the devil by submitting to God. Evaluate your life and avoid those situations where he is most likely to tempt you. Abstain from all appearances and every form of evil. 1 Thessalonians 5:22. Lucifer is Latin designated for the morning star or light bearer or bright one. But as the morning star speedily disappears before the rising sun, so will Satan, the angel of light, be banished into outer darkness by the coming of the Son of God. Know that the enemy is not flesh and blood in which we wrestle, but a spiritual warfare waged against the church and Christians. Flesh and blood refers to humanity, in which is not the church's adversary, but opposes principalities, rulers, spiritual wickedness, spiritual beings, fallen angels, demons, and Lucifer himself. Wherefore, because we face such a formidable foe, we must avail ourselves in God's provision, lest the enemy destroy our Christian witness and our ministry. Having done all to stand is to dress oneself in God's armor and resisting Satan. Having done all these things, being ready for the devil, for he will attack over and over and over again. For he has stated that he will not stop even for a moment to torment and to tempt and to accuse the brethren until he has killed and stolen and destroyed all in which believes his lies. He is the chief practitioner of sin, the wicked one. He is a thief and a destroyer. He is a deceiver. He is a murderer and a liar and an accuser of the brethren. If you let the devil in the back seat, eventually he will want to drive. He is not fighting you because you are weak. He is fighting you because he knows you are strong. So be a son of God, not a slave to sin, to your past. Think free. Think victorious. Beauty for ashes. Don't dwell on failures. Tell the past, you don't own me. Tell fear, you don't own me. Don't see it as your master. It's temporary. It cannot stay in your body, in which is the temple of the Most High God. You are not a sick person trying to get well. You are a well person fighting off sickness. You are not an addict trying to get freed. You are a free person trying to fight off an addiction. You are not a poor person trying to fight off poverty. You are a prosperous person trying to fight off poverty. God does not want you to feel like a runaway slave. He wants you to feel free, like when the Red Sea was parted and Pharaoh and his armies were destroyed. There is no hope of the enemy to return. And in the same manner, he has done this for us. There will be no recapture of Satan for Jesus. The enemy has already been destroyed, and there will be no return for him to enslave us. But when the giants appeared, they said, "Let us go back to Egypt." Even after seeing Pharaoh destroyed, they still would have rather been slaves than to fight for freedom and have faith in God that the thing hoped for shall come to pass or to be. God brought them out of slavery, but slavery never got out of them. The enemy wants you to faint or give up. We can have what we ask for, but we keep asking for what we already have. Ask for what we don't have to get what you are praying for through faith and hope and patience. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Patience, perseverance, and endurance. Saving faith will endure all persecutions of the enemy. 1 Corinthians 10. I would not have you ignorant or unaware how that all of our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea, and were all baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea, and did all eat the same spiritual meat of food, the manna, and did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of the spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ. But with most of them God was not pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness. Now these things became our examples to the intent that we should not lust after the evil things as they did lusted, as they also lusted. Neither be ye idolaters, as were some of them. As it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink and then rose to play. Neither let us commit fornication or sexual immorality, as some of them committed, and fell in one day 23,000 men. Neither let us tempt or test Christ, as some of them tempted and were destroyed by serpents. Neither murmur ye, as some of them murmured and were destroyed by the destroyer. Now all these things happen unto them for examples to us, and they were written for our admonition or instruction, upon whom the ends of the world or age has come. Wherefore let him think that he standeth. Take heed lest he fall. There hath no temptation taken you or overtaken you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that which you are able to stand, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape the temptation, that you may be able to bear it or endure it. The whole world is against us. Satan says you can't. Flesh says you can't. Your friends say, yeah, right, you can't do that. And then we stop and give up. Faint not, for God says you can. And if he goes before us, who can be against us? Thank you.